Okay everyone, so in this lesson, let's try to go and talk about NextJS. And as you can see here, this is a React framework that will be giving you building blocks to create web applications by framework. And it's an open source web development framework created by the private company Vercel, providing React-based web application with server-side rendering and static website generation. So let's just first try to run this. We do see here we recommend creating a new Next.js app using create next app, which sets up everything automatically for you. To create a project, run the following command. So let me just create a folder for this. So we do have our terminal here. I've just created the Next.js crash course folder. And let's just go copy this command here. Now let's try to go and copy that. Let's press enter. And let's see what will be running in our system. If this will work. And it says, need to install the following packages. Create next app 13.4.7. So let's say yes. And what is our project name? Let me just call this Next.js crash course. Would you like to use TypeScript with this project? Okay, so I'm just going to say no for the meantime in this case. So let's try to say no. I think you cannot type it. You have to choose the no here. I won't be using ESLint either. And Tailwind. Should we use Tailwind in this project? I am still thinking, should we use Tailwind? Should we use Bootstrap? I think we can use Tailwind. Let's try to go and choose yes. And I don't want to use the source directory. We'll try to cover the new one, which is the app directory here. So let's say no. Use app router. Okay, just going back to the documentation here. Those information were actually here. You can see we have the source, Tailwind, ESLint, TypeScript. We just skipped TypeScript and ESLint in this case. And I think we can also have some manual installation through the use of the package.json file here. We can see that we do have stages of developing an application. Next dev, next build, next start, next link. Okay, so those are quite some information. So we do have a root layout here. Going back to our app router, I'm just going to choose yes. Would you like to customize the default import alias? It does have the default no. Let's select no. Then let's try to run the... You would see it created a Next.js crash course folder for me. So let's just wait for this to finish. How long will that take? Let's see. And similar with React, it does have the following. You would see it's just showing us some found vulnerabilities, and we now can go to that Next.js crash course folder. And let's try to go cd to that Next.js, and let's just type code dot for us to be able to open that up from that Next.js application. So now we can see some of the file directories that are included, such as the node, the gitignore file. We have next.config. Okay, so we have a package.json file that contains the name of the crash course that we have here. We have some Tailwind, JSConfig, post CSS. Okay, so it also has post CSS, and we have some public Vercel SVG here. Next and Vercel SVG. We have an app directory. So what would happen if we did not skip that source directory? I think we'll have a source here instead of an app. But in this case, we wanted to use the app directory. Okay, so we'll try to explore this further. So we do have this JSConfig also. So we'll try to understand how that works as we try to move forward. So now we do have our public folder So most of the important files, or let's say most of our SVGs and all of our images, we would like to be placed here. And a folder, the node modules that should be inside of our git ignore here, because we don't want that to be pushed to the repository. So now we do have a page here, and we can see that if you have background, we are just importing. We have a main element that contains a div, and let me just alt Z this, okay, just to rearrange it a bit, and we don't see the overflow. So we do see here that we have some main, we have a div, and I think these are just mostly Tailwind. And again, these are just mostly, and we know that this is using the attribute because this is based on React. We should be using camel case instead of the class attribute in HTML for us to make it work and render properly. Now let's start to open up our terminal here, and let's start to run npm run dev. Let's see how this will be working for us. And it's saying started server on port 3000. It's compiling server successfully. Event compiled client. So is this already working? Just open that up. I think that's not yet, it hasn't yet propagated, but we do see that it's now running NextJS on our localhost 3000 here. Okay, so that looks pretty neat. We do see Vercel here, and let me just put that here, and let's try to go back down here. Let's try to clean up all of this. Let's see if I try to remove this class name. Let's remove all of the div element, and then let's just paste. Let's just say h1. That's not working. Let's say NextJS crash course, and let's go back to the page. Let's see what will that be rendering. Okay, so we do see this, and I'm not sure why that's happening. Why is that happening? But we do see that there are plenty of lines here. So we do see that if we try to go, where's the search option? So let's just scroll down here. Let's see, we do have JavaScript React, JavaScript React. Do we have a JavaScript? Okay, JSX, JavaScript React. So will that now work? And that's working. And if we have an H2, because earlier that wasn't working, so now we do have that working. So we do need to set up the language mode